Okay, really interesting recipe here today. How to make syrup from tree bark. This is shagbark hickory syrup. I actually see this being sold at farmers markets and online as kind of a substitute for maple syrup. This is not a substitute for maple syrup. Well, it kind of is, but this is kind of like poor man's maple syrup. You're going to be using the bark of the shagbark hickory tree. You could probably use other hickories, but I haven't tried. And the most important thing to know about that is we need to treat the bark as food. So you want bark from a living tree that's free of mold, spider webs, cobwebs, all kinds of stuff. You're going to take your bark, you're going to clean it and scrub it. And when you have your cleaned bark, you're going to soak it in water. The exact proportions for this are on my website. After you soak it in water, about 15 minutes, then you're going to roast it. Roast that bark. It's going to bring out some nice toasty notes of the shag bark and that hickory flavor because the syrup tastes a little smoky. After the bark is roasted, it'll be kind of crisp. You can break it into pieces, put it into a pot, and this is so easy you don't need a recipe, but my proportions here will make exactly 2 pints of syrup just because I like to be exact with things. Pour in water to cover your toasted, roasted hickory bark. Bring that up to a simmer. And then you're going to cook that until it tastes nice and smoky. About 30 minutes are fine. You can let it cool. You can do it overnight. I like a really strong infusion here. Then you're going to strain that through a fine strainer. And then take your tea. This is basically bark tea. Put it into a pot and add an equal volume of sugar. So for each cup of tea, 1 cup of sugar. Bring that to a boil. When the bubbles get big, you'll know it's almost ready. You're looking for 225 Fahrenheit here. When you hit that temperature, it'll take about 20 minutes or so. Take your finished syrup and put it into jars. And because you're not going to process this in a water bath, you can fill these jars a little bit more full. And once you put the lid on, this will seal. This is very safe. Nothing's going to happen to it. You do want to refrigerate it after it's opened. But like this, the jars will seal from the heat of that syrup and they will be fine for a very long time. I've had it last for years and years, as long as the jar is totally sealed. You can use it kind of where you would maple syrup in drinks, on pancakes, all kinds of stuff. I use it to flavor ice cream. I hope I've inspired you to try your hand at cooking with bark.